back, rivals. This is Xonia, and you are in the zone. Today we'll be looking at another top 25... Wait, this time it's a top 30? That's right. It's time for my top 25 plus 5 4-star cards in UR. Please remember that there are a lot of 4-star cards in UR that are good, and there will undoubtedly be a lot of cards that you love, and I left off. Check below in the comments if you'd like to see a list of other 4-star cards that I thought were absolutely fantastic, but I felt just slightly got edged out. I know it won't fully make up for not having them in the video, but I want you to know that I didn't forget them, and that it doesn't mean that I think they're garbage, but just that there's way too many good 4-star cards. You know, 4-star cards are the game changer cards in UR. When you draw them, they should make you feel like the game is yours, if you play them right. And they should generally be round-winning cards. The reason we're doing a top 30 is, well, actually that I made an original list and forgot it. And then I had to make it again, but I ended up leaving off a few cards, which definitely should have been in the top 25. So, I had the perfect amount left over for 30. So due to my memory error, you get 5 extra cards this time. Without further ado, let's see what we'll be covering today. We're going to take a look at the history of 4-star cards, then a breakdown of 4-star cards in clans and rarities, rules for choosing my top 30, and then my top 30. As always, I was interested in the history of 4-star cards in UR, so here's a quick list of all the 4-star cards that were released at the launch of UR, based on the info that I could find. Platuna, Vermin N, Macumba, Sai-san, Erica, Sigmund CR, Bunny, Melmoth, Gertrude, Winifred, Fleshpimp, Mortbax, Baby Q, Ninja 9, Yayoi CR, Billy Bob, Ndololo CR, Ratana, Gastroboy, Grax, Venus, Razor, Wee Lee, Jackie CR, and Zlatar, or Zlatar. As a side note, please note that 7 of these cards have become RBs, which makes sense because only the older cards will get RBs. I only mention this now so that investors can note that these cards appear thus far to be far more likely to get an RB rather than CR status. Getting back on track though, I was curious about the first 4-star cards that were released after that. First was Matthew on April 10th, 2006, the second release of cards after the original set. Then Crystal on May 22nd, 2006, and Candy Jack on July 3rd, 2006. I was also curious about the first few rare 4-star cards that were released. The first rare 4-star cards were Macumba, Erica, Gertrude, Baby Q, Grax, and Jackie CR in the original release. After that came Methane on August 14th, Dragon on September 25th, Rosa on December 15th, and then Brian on January 5th, 2007. Now, let's take a look at the breakdown of all of the current 4-star cards by their clans and rarities. As you can see, of the 294 4-star cards in the game, there are currently 16 4-star CRs, of which about 13 are still playable, with Nightmare, Sentinel, Uppers, and Vortex having the most CRs at 2 each. There are 8 4-star LDs, 10 RBs, 5 rare 4-stars. Of all the clans, Skeels has the most rare 4-star cards, with 7. FPC, Geist, and Sacrom also have 6, which are all above the average number of 3 to 4. Notice also that of all the established clans, Junks has the fewest rares. Guess all those 3-star rares have come back to bite them. Clans with the most uncommons are Freaks and Junks, with 8. And as for commons, Geist, Piranhas, Pussycats, and Sentinel have the most, with 4 each. A few other interesting things of note are that Jungo and Sacrom lead the way with 15 4-star cards each, more than the average of 12 to 13. Also, Sacrom and Skeels are absolutely stacked when it comes to 4-star cards, with far more uncommons and rares than commons, and both having some of the highest amounts of 4-star cards of all the clans. Also somewhat surprisingly is that Freaks, one of the oldest clans, has absolutely no common 4-star cards. So when I rated the 4-star cards, I tried to keep a few rules in mind. 1. The card must be fully leveled at 4 stars, no partially leveled cards. 2. Is it conditional? How does it handle outside of its condition? 3. Is it mono only? 4. How well does it perform its function of defeat, DVR, or whatever else? 5. How well does it work with other cards in its clan? 6. How solid is the card versus SOA, SOB, or various types of manipulation? And 7. can this card be used against 5-star cards and be worth the pills needed? Of course, artwork, bio, and enjoyability also play minor factors in choosing my top 25. Popularity helps, but doesn't guarantee a place on my list. I don't care if such and such a card sells for more on the market than another one. Rarity, card hoarders, time of release, clan's usefulness in ELO, etc. can all be outside influences that affect the price in ways that don't accurately represent which are the best. There are also 2 limitations I always place on my list. Since there are a ton of 4-star cards, I've limited it to no more than 2 cards from the same clan. Yes, you probably use more than that in your deck, but I'd end up just putting the maximum number for my personal favorite clans. I really want to try and get at least 1 card from as many of the clans onto this list as possible. Second, no CRs. It's obvious that a card like Blaster CR would be in anyone's top 25, and so that makes him as a choice boring and unpredictable. I want these top lists to be a bit more interesting, so that you at least kind of wonder what my top few cards might actually be. It's a little more fun that way, I think, and it lets us focus on the cards currently available to everyone through packs, which is also a good thing. I know some of you may be thinking, seriously, no CRs? But that means Dag CR, Jackie CR, and Sylph CR won't get mentioned. Well, don't you think including those would make the list way easier to make? Let's both push ourselves to avoid taking the easy way out. Besides, everyone already knows they're great. It's not like anyone's gonna freak Rowdy CR just because he didn't make it onto one random YouTube guy's top 25 list. In the broadest sense, I'm looking for 4-star cards that you often find yourself actively playing around. By that, I mean it's a 4-star card that is round-making, that you often save your best cards to go against, ones you may build an entire deck strategy around, and ones that are not only good, but that you may actively try to avoid during a match. They're cards that can single-handedly turn the tide of the match in your favor. Because there are just so many good 4-star cards, a lack of versatility or any significant or necessary conditionality may be enough to knock even some of my favorites from my top 25, or top 30 here. Again, this does not mean the card is bad. It just means that there were 25 or 30 other cards with better base stats, more versatility, and or less significant conditionality who are leaders in their own clans that I happen to favor a little bit more. As always, this list is not the definitive one. It's just my own opinion, based on my own playstyle and preferences. I promise I didn't leave your favorite off on purpose if it's not there. Remember, I'll leave a list of the 68 4-star cards I considered for the top 30 in a comment down below, so you can see if your favorite almost made the list at least. After all, no one wants to watch a top 68 list. So, without further ado, here we go. In 26th through 30th place, we have Xonia, Phoebe, July, Exodus, and Toro. Xonia's great, don't get me wrong. When this bad boy works, the game is already decided. But let's all just be honest here. Against any SOA card, Xonia is about as helpful as a screen door on a submarine. His SOB may remove a lot of potential attack manipulation, but he'll still struggle against any other big attack manipulation ability cards, and even more so in half decks. In 29th was Phoebe. Phoebe placed ahead of Xonia because of her superior attack manipulation bonus, and 1 more power, which gives her a bit more help against SOA. She also has the worst conditional in the game, but when she's good to go, she's a 10-6 with plus 12 attack, even better than Hax, one of her clan's 5 stars. She placed low primarily because of her confidence conditionality. July is a beautiful new card for Raptors. When she has Revenge, her ability allows her to beat or tie in power the vast majority of cards in the game. She even gets 2 DR as backup. She's a super solid card, and should show that this list is getting serious already. However, she's weak to DR, requires her condition, and only has 5 damage for a 4-star. If I need to dump a good bit of pills to feel safe about winning for only 5 damage, and it's also conditional, then that isn't my ideal candidate for the best of the best. Especially when, in the end, her DR is still just 2, and not even a min-1, and her bonus may be useless. Up next is X. As we enter the battle for the SOA cards, Exodus placed last. His 6 damage is great, and he can regain pills, but at an unsupported 7 and conditional SOA, he placed 27th. It's that conditionality plus a defeat bonus that ultimately hurt him. In 26th place was Toro. Man, Toro is a huge groundbreaking card, a fantastic 4-star that destroys most cards, and SOA means that all that damage is probably getting in. However, he'll struggle against other SOA clans, and ultimately still forces me to pill a bit to ensure only 5 damage. He's not conditional though, which is why he made this list over Django. In 21st through 25th, we have Bogdan, Striker RB, Cubic, Numar, and El Gascaro. In 25th, we have Bogdan. But Bogdan only has 4 damage, Xonia. Well, don't forget his poison. But SOB clans, Xonia. Well, he's a solid 8 power with SOA to mow down your opponent. And since those SOB clans all have low power and rely heavily on abilities... But Xonia, look, look, Bogdan's great. He's solid, and at that 8 power, it really does make a huge difference. He's practically your dream round 1 Freaks card, and why he's been ELO banned pretty much forever. Striker RB scoots in just above Bogdan. What? Why, Xonia? Well, first, he's got more damage, so he's a better late round finishing card. Second, Bogdan's not strictly conditional, but you're going to get way less out of him in round 3 or round 4. Third, Striker's -2 power can still help him keep the advantage against select power manipulators and other SOA cards. And fourth, he plays soccer, and, well, I like soccer. Anyway, you'll still have to pill with him though, so another reason why he did not make it higher on this list. In 23rd place we have Cubic, the first SOA card I don't necessarily have to pill for. Cubic is truly a bastion for Junks players and their subpar 4-star cards. Kinda wish this card didn't exist though. That said, he's still only 5 damage, and the elephant in the room all this time has been stop cards and protection power, leaving stop opponent abilities useless or making them a detriment. That's why all of these awesome 4-star cards just ended up barely scooting in for me instead of leading the pack. In 22nd place is the first card ever successfully market controlled by a group of players, Numar. Yep, that's why he was so expensive for so long, and still kind of is. I love you, Cubic, but after 3 pills, Numar already has you beat. With 6 life gap, plus life to prevent KOs, DR resistance, and immense stability, plus an absurd 10 power, Numar swims into our hearts and leaves most of us crying. What a great card, seriously. His only downside is that defensively, he's only +2 life. He requires pills and only 6 damage. See, Numar's a great card, but he's not OP. And he isn't exactly a KO machine. He'll keep you in the game, but he probably won't help you end it early. He may be round-breaking in certain situations, like the next few cards, but he's not game-ending. In 21st place, we have El Gascaro, the amazing fork from Hurricane. At 6 damage, he'll take away half of your life. And even if you guess right, he's going to return 3, which means the chances are pretty good you're still going to be facing a huge Hurricane bonus at the end of your next round. El Gascaro is amazing because of the fact that he forks and forces you to decide whether you want to ante up and play those pills while not actually doing a lot of damage, or to just let him through and give him that 6 damage. An amazing fork and one of the few defeat cards to make it into our top 30. However, the best way to show you why he isn't higher is to move on to 16th through 20th place. In 20th, we have Dianzi. What a devastating card. Basically, he's Numar with 1 more damage, but only on round 4. Isn't that bad, Xonia? Well, in most clans, yes. But Jungo, however, is built to last for 4 rounds, which is all you need in order to absolutely destroy your opponent. Dianzi is more valuable to me because of his clan and his backup cards. Numar may be more solid, but even if Dianzi may be predictable, he is an absolute monster, and you're guaranteed to make it to round 4 in his clan. Isadis comes in at 19th place. No matter how much she may fall apart against SOA, it simply cannot be denied that this common 9/8 card, without Fury, has ruled La Junta since the moment of her release. Do you know how many common 4-star cards made my potential top 25 list? 1. Only Isadis. I don't care what anyone says, this card is absolutely amazing. Her biggest issue, obviously, is that she's able to be picked apart by basically anything. But even still, she'll remain a real and present danger. Anyone who's played DTs since a few years ago can tell you why. The penalty is there for a reason. Next up, Nelly beats out her competitors on 2 fronts. First, she has attack manipulation, so she doesn't need to pill quite as much. And second, when she does work, she's even better at draining pills than any of her competitors. As always though, SOA can kill her, and she's easy to DR around. Still, any card that forces their opponent to 3-pill over them on a bluff is definitely worth it in my books. Next on the list is Jeffrey. Pretty much no matter what you throw at Jeffrey, he can compensate. Able to handle offense and defense, withstand SOA and SOB, win rounds, and having attack manipulation, he is an all-around master. He comes in last in the elite group because his power limits the effectiveness of his DR to later rounds, which is also the ability which gives him that usefulness in most situations. Having to hold your DR until later to maintain usefulness isn't always ideal anyway, especially if you're already dead. And 16th is the ultimate 4-star SOA card for me, Ratana RB. 8 power on an SOA monster, especially one with 5 damage, in an SOA clan, with a ton of the best low-star DR in the game. Who can say no to that? Only Bogdan also has 8 power, and his bonus makes him more predictable, or gives him less damage. That's why Ratana rocketed away from the rest of the SOA pack, and almost landed in the top 15. She's solid, she's unpredictable, her SOA can be used defensively, and she can win most zero-pill battles. But she's still only 5 damage. From here, we move into the elite of the elite. Cards which are extremely solid offensively and defensively, and either specialize, are round-breaking, or are game-ending cards. In 15th through 11th place, we have Futoshi LD, Stompa, Wild, Arturo, and Lenora. Futoshi LD starts off our elite list as a solid, massive monster, and he's the only LD to make the video. 8-6 with the ability to morph as needed against his opponents with COB, perfect. Absolutely perfect. How could you ever say no to this card? Futoshi LD is a beautiful card, and one of the few who can handle many other monstrous cards, but he's not game-ending, and sometimes only comes up with 6 damage. Still, never miss a chance to put him in your deck. Stompa skates into 14th place. What a beast, literally. A potential 9-7 with minus 11 attack, min 7. Even against SOA or SOB, he packs a punch, and will cause your opponent tons of trouble. It doesn't take much to see that Stompa deserves to be called one of the elite. In 13th we have Wild. Wait, what? Yeah, Wild! He's 7-6 and strips you of any attack manipulation. He could be saved for a finishing move, or played first as a bluff, or played first as an attacker. On top of that, he turns every card that can reach 10 damage into a pseudo one-hit KO, even as a splash. Do not underestimate this card. Do you know how many cards have 8 base damage in Urban Rivals? The answer is 59, and that's only the cards with base 8 damage. Far more reach 8 after the ability or bonus are included. That should horrify you. Easily overlooked by newer players, that min 0 makes him worth much more than gold. Just be careful if the opponent has plus life cards, since it will take effect before your minus life. Dressing up as our 12th place 4-star is Arturo. He may be conditional, and he may be only 5 damage, but he's in Freaks and is merely a slightly more conditional Spike. Even with no attack manipulation, a 3-pill that leaves the majority of the game's cards, especially those without attack manipulation, needing to pill 6 is horrifying. Now your round 1 Freaks card can lead with up to 6 pills, and even on an old, you've basically already won the game. Finally, the last card outside our top 10 is Lenora. I don't care what anyone else says, that explosion in her last artwork totally looks like a fart cloud. That aside, Lenora is about to cause you a lot of trouble. Cancel op damage allows Lenora to function as a faux DR, or to ignore the opponent's DR, which then also makes it easier for other cards to avoid the opponent's DR. You can't lead with your DR now, can you? Not without risk at least. The 8 power is icing on the cake, and getting a pill back, glorious. A virtual +8 attack. So while she only packs 5 damage herself, the effect she has on an opponent's DR makes her worth much more than a normal 4-star. And she's not conditional, which is also very important. Without further ado, let's get into our top 10. As an interesting but wholly unimportant side note, you'll find a distinct lack of human men in this category. In 10th place, from Roots, Gretchen. From Roots we have the Tree-Hugging Queen, a controversial choice for some. I never leave my Roots home without her. With a potential 11 life gap without Fury, and pulling your opponent well under her minimum, she can solo win you the game without much issue. Her SOA allows you to use her defensively, and her supporting cast perfectly complements her. She's solid, still packs a punch in mirror battles, and SOB doesn't hurt her utility either. She cuts most DR too. Her only real flaws are that her impact is lower the longer you wait, and she's an unsupported 7. However, she's worth investing a lot of pills into, because winning with her means you've set yourself up for an easier rest of the game. And of course, she's unconditional. The icing on the cake is that she's not ELO banned, which I only mention because Roots has like 1,000,000 banned cards. In 9th place, from Pussycats, we have Diana. What a glorious card. How did she not get the Miss title? Diana is usable both offensively and defensively. She's 8 power with split damage to reduce the effects of DR, and has plus life to further make KOs difficult. Her 7 damage is also massive for the PC clan. She's unconditional too and works well on any round. The biggest downside is that SOA and SOB can limit her effectiveness, but only cut it a little. Overall, she still maintains exactly the kind of package any rival would want. Next up, coming in 8th, and perhaps another controversial choice, from Vortex, is Seadusk. Able to gap for up to 10 without Fury, Seadusk is an absolute monster that works better in late rounds, and specialized late round nukes are pure gold. His 8 power backs him up, and in a clan that can recover pills if they go in too far, or just couldn't win early on, getting that win in shouldn't be too hard. He can also be used defensively to prevent a KO by being played early if they use their own nuke on round 1, or recover 1 pill with a bluff. Seadusk forces your opponent to play differently, because if they can't afford to finish you off, Seadusk will just punish them for almost KOing you. As the saying goes, almost only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades. In 7th place, from Nightmare, and the highest ranking courage conditional card, is Skaritol. Never has a girl covered in poo who crawled out of a toilet looked so good. Wait, maybe I should cut out that line. But it's not like I'm lying or anything. Anyway, perhaps some of you will say, why is Skaritol here when July was way back in 28th place? They're basically the same, but with different conditionals, right? Well, not quite. See, this is why the clan, and thus bonus, really does matter for cards. July only stops attack manipulation with her bonus, but Skaritol has SOB, infinitely better. Due to her SOB, she becomes a potential better DR, a potential better power reducer. She can prevent DR against herself, stop pill returns, protect her ability, and deal with the attack manipulation bonuses too. The ability is amazing, and coupled with SOB, it's that much better. There's a reason Skaritol basically immediately became the new 4-star Queen of Nightmare. All those cards July wrecks, Skaritol will wreck even more of them. Her only real downsides are that she's easy to see coming, and only has 5 damage. Oh, and let's not leave out that she's also just about the best DR Nightmare has, too. Up next in 6th place from All-Stars, we have the woman who sets the high bar. Sets the bar high. Marina. A virtual 9-5? Check. -3 DR? Nice. Min 1? You've got to be joking, right? Marina is a beast on defense, and with 5 damage, holds her own on offense too. 9 virtual power in all this is also absolutely amazing. Have you noticed an All-Stars trend? Jessie, Saki, and now Marina? Stability and versatility. These sports athletes have it, and they have a lot of it. Her only real downside is her 5 damage. Not much else to say, other than the girls got game. So, who made it into my top 5? In 5th place, the frozen girl who will definitely warm your heart, Ruru. As already mentioned in my Frozen Clan review, Ruru should not exist. How did such an amazing card ever get made? We are now venturing into OP territory, rivals. 7-6 before the bonus, and also a courage-based amazing DR. Offensive and defensive, versatility and stability, Ruru has higher base damage than any other 4-star in her clan currently, and an amazing ability. Such beautiful artwork too. SOA and OB mean nothing. DR gets mowed down, and power manipulation just cries to itself in the corner, softly. You will be mowed down. Just accept that this game is probably already over. I honestly think Ruru was supposed to be a 5-star. Up next, in 4th place, coming all the way from outer space, is Sakrom's Makra. Makra is banned, now and forever. Unconditional, versatile, attack manipulation, and -2 power damage with a low min of 3. Makra's your go-to bud. He's your, I'm not sure how to deal with this card. No worries, I'll just throw Makra at it option. Other than just having 5 damage, Makra is almost Marina, but also with attack manipulation. As with Marina, SOA can hurt versatility, but still won't bring the monster down. Just watch out for DR. Finally, it's time for my top 3 4-star cards. In 3rd place is a card that needs no introduction, because I've already done an entire video on her, Xingqiu from Skeels. Seriously, if you need to know why she's so good, go watch my Zingshu video. We'll put the link up above. Long story short, she's amazing. Go buy her now. In second place from Berserk, a card you were probably expecting before this video began, is Spike, our only human male. This is our churro, except he's not damage over time and not conditional. He's so good that people have splashed him into their DT decks for a long while now. A 4-star splash. That's how good he is. He's solid, versatile, round destroying, game making, and hope crushing. Seriously, this card is only offensive, and that's all he ever needs to be. Because if you lose with this card, you were either doing it wrong, or down about 5 stars to a superior hand. There are only a very small handful of cards who can stop him. You need to go and buy this card, even if you never plan to run a Berserk deck. And finally, let's take a look at my number 1 pick. My top 4-star card is... Man, you probably already guessed this one before the video started. Grax, man, it's Grax. If you said anyone else, you're either crazy or biased. See, it's no fun when you already know when it was going to be my number 1 pick. Well, maybe you thought Spike might win, but seriously, -5 DR, min 1, 8 power, 5 damage, attack manipulation, basically guaranteed to win every single 0-pill battle. This card is beyond perfection. This card is the quintessential 10 out of 10 rating. This card has been expected to go CR forever, but guess what? Now he's an RB. That means he'll probably be here to stay forever. So as much as I want to say you should run and buy this card, actually I think I'll say take your time. There's no hurry, because RB cards aren't going to go anywhere. But seriously, if you even want to think about getting into Survivor T2, this is your first card. This is always your first card. If it's not, then you're probably working on Survivor missions. Well, this concludes my top 25 plus 5 for 4-star cards. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, then feel free to like it, favorite it, and share it. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below with what you thought. And even if you think I got everything perfect, let me know what some of your favorite 4-star cards are. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more of my Urban Rivals videos. This is Xonia, and you've been in the zone.